Hello, dear colleagues and friends. My name is Krasimir Nikolov, and I will have a pleasure to present you the problems regarding environment projects and migration issues, because, as we know, the connection between environment as a whole and the migration issues are completely related and proved by the UNHCR, and not only. Bear in mind Sustainable Development Goals 2030. We are witnessing the problems regarding connections, interlinks between Sustainable Development Goals, because we cannot stay now, we cannot stay in the current situation, we cannot stay in the 10 years to come, because the problems we will face in the coming decades, and especially in 2050, are very serious, because the risks will provoke environmental refugees as an issue at the global level. As we know, the risks of increasing ocean acidification, extreme weather conditions, the frequency and severity of natural disasters, the problems with land, species extinction, and the collapse of ecosystems are very serious. First of all, I would like to say that the displacement of people is also extremely important, because not only the refugees will be the problem, and also displacement of people internally at member state level for the Union or the America del Sur, or in Africa, as you know, the continent exposed to at the highest level of the risk. The connection between Sustainable Development Goals is extremely important, because no poverty, the first SDG, is important, but the connection between zero hunger, food quality, water accessibility, etc., are connected. We cannot say that the poverty is only provoked by money. It's not by money, only by the money. We have to face the facts regarding zero hunger, because without water, without agricultural equipment, without quality education, we cannot provide well-being, especially in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, the Horn of Africa, and also Southern Asia. We are speaking about for more than half billion people in the both continents, Africa and Asia, exposed to hunger. So, bear in mind the risks concerning Asia and Africa. We can say that the problems, the cross-cutting issues or problems, are extremely important for vulnerable groups such as children, elderly folks, persons with disabilities, refugees, migrants, etc., and internally displaced persons. The problem is concerned in reduced inequalities. This is the Sustainable Development Goal 10. And you can see that the inequalities is possible to encompass poverty, food quality or delivery or production, water quality, well-being. You can see the interconnection between the SDGs. As I think, the interconnection must be our at uttermost importance, because um, the smart programming, the smart project management ensuing from the Sustainable Development Goals is our primarily or core vision about the success we want to face in the coming years. Let's move on. As we know, the project sustainability and results-based implementation is important for the upcoming multi-annual financial framework in the EU or out of EU, because we can see that now the Sustainable Development Goals are valid everywhere, for everyone people. We have to be familiar to face the facts and to be aware how to make the impact, the positive impact regarding the investment policies in the Union. Smart project approach is really important because it will include project sustainability and results-based implementation of the European policies, be it green policies or migration policies or internal security policies in relation to migration issues. The smart project approach encompasses baseline 1 and 2. We have here one baseline, for example, regarding the National Program 1 and National Program 2. We have here, for example, environment and migration, and the synergies and connections between both programs is extremely important. This is a vertical connection. The blending procedures are also reliable for green projects and migration projects, because, as you know, without private investments, without private inclusion in the face of SMEs, managing authorities, and especially the local authorities, because the local authorities are the core elements in the regional policy and also the financial management system expressed by European Investment Bank or promotional banks in every member state, must provide the experience, the financial experience regarding rate of return of investments. baselines is possible to be connected on somehow different way, because baseline 1 and baseline 2 must be based on must be connected to study, real study of the problem, maybe by means of questionnaire, by means of statistical approach, analyzing the case, and trying to design the best national program, consequently the best project indicators applicable to the national program implementation in relation to sustainable development goals. You can see here the picture of good and bad earth is painted by my son. Thank you. We can see here the risks. We have many different risks. Climate change risk, environmental risk, economical migration risk, risk of war, risk of poverty. So the risks, some part of the risk is possible to be detected by Copernicus at regional level, but the baseline must be based on synergy and blending. We have here two differences, but they are connected, because in the blending procedures the synergies is expressed in the better quality of the project implementation and the national program implementation. You can see here that in Davos, the UNHCR proved that the climate change is a disaster provoked by refugee crisis. This is valid. It must be accepted as a real risk. This is the result of climate change, should be treated by the hosting countries as refugees. So the fleeing population exposed at risk of climate change must be taken as refugees. This is proved by the UNHCR. We can see that the problems regarding climate disasters are real, and there is no any possibility to get back the population. For example, from sub-Saharan Africa, because there is a risk of crops and livestock, and there is no possibility to get back. The refugees are real refugees. It is the same like risk of war. Okay, let's see the things regarding urban agenda, because in that case we have possibilities for regional development. The migration and the green projects must be tackled at a regional level, and the urban agenda, the Pact of Amsterdam from 2016, is completely applicable, because the SMEs inclusion must provide migration related expenses, for example like in-kind contribution. The affordability will have twofold: for the migration population and for the SMEs. We can see if there is any risk regarding climate change is possible to be tackled on a modern way by means of urban agenda. The key strategic synergy connections must be based on key performance indicators. Also, if we go behind the indicators implementation, we will need financial blending facilities for macrofinance project indicators, like creation of professional networks, providing familiarity with administrative and legal requirements to kick off businesses, different kinds of businesses in the host countries, and also to provide services by the SMEs in number of indicators regarding business plans, implementation. Let's see the connections between LIFE program plus Asylum Migration and Integration Fund, UN Environment Program and UNHCR is extremely important. The synergized strategic documents, especially in UN, must be applied regarding sustainable development goals achievement. And moreover, for the urban indicators, urban planning and development of the regional policies. Because some territories is possible to be wiped out, and the possibility to get back the population at the risk of climate change is not possible to get back there. So we have to be aware how to set up new territories, new regional prosperities for accommodation and real integration of the newcomers. We have here some possibilities for inclusion of the UN Environment Program and LIFE Program regarding integrated environment projects, because as you know, the inter-regional projects is possible to provoke transferability, replicability of the projects, compound of great value of reliability of indicators of the results. Here is one element that the direct management is possible to be used regarding asylum migration fund. It is managed under the DG Home responsibilities. We have here possibilities for global approach to be followed regarding climate change and possibilities for investment in legal migration and mobility, irregular migration and trafficking in human beings, international protection and asylum policies, and also development, impact of migration and mobility. We can see here that the climate change risks is possible to be tackled by direct management, ensured by DG Home. And in that way, The regional climate change policy must be implemented regarding achievements of the expected deliverables. Environmental adaptation, we need here high level, high quality of machineries, of equipment, of innovations, etc. Because the quality of food, the quality of air, the quality of water must stay at the highest possible level. But as we know, it is not easy. But the well-being and decreasing the migratory pressure must be our aim in the upcoming multi-annual financial framework. So, dear colleagues, I will present you in the next 2 slides 2 figures regarding connections between migration and climate change. The first figure concerns management of the global well-being indicator by green projects. We have here well-being indicator applicable globally and also is applicable regarding implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. The indicator proposes information regarding the results achieved by means of the climate change investments, technological innovations regarding smart energy consumption, e-cars, e-bicycles, clean energy, getting rid of the conventional vehicles as we know, and moving on to green-friendly commuting, greening the city zones, decreasing of fires caused by overheating. The results of the project indicators regarding environment and climate change projects have a direct influence over the migration pressure, as we know. And here, the more sustainable results we achieve in the environment and climate change projects, the less migrant pressure the EU and the world will face, as we know. There are possible many different projects as portrayed in the figure: air pollution, congestion management, food quality, e-cars, etc. The well-known integrated projects in Sweden from the Life Plus program and the projects funded by the UN Environment Programme would play a central role in the future intercontinental partnership programs. Here also is possible to be applied, as I said before, union actions by means of DigiHome. The program must concern prevention, rehabilitation of affected arable and livelihood areas, safe and orderly return, smart and sustainable reintegration. Also, the urbanization, as we know, is a little bit a problem because the people have been migrating from rural areas to the towns and cities around the world, and the abundant regions are part of the sustainability we need to roll out. As we know, we have to be well prepared to implement our regional development obligations because they are the core element of the Sustainable Development Goals. We need European partnership in green project liaised to it. Migration possibilities. Okay, let's move on to the next part and last part of the presentation, the Global Environment and Migration Index extracts and accumulates the information from the national objectives and the project indicators, or the states concerned have a possibility to initiate its program objectives and project indicators based on the global, regional, and local necessities. It will be easy to cope with the adverse effects of the environmental, climate change, and migration flows. This is also good um, data management system regarding designing of the national programs liaised with the Sustainable Development Goals, because we have here transferability of results between environment and migration projects. The proposed index, we have twofold information, as I said, regarding the achievement of results ensuing from the national programs, and secondly, should we provide the countries over the globe with up-to-date information. This is also administrative part and management part. The migration management is connected to prevention and preparedness of the regions in overcoming the environmental and climate change risks. In that case, the migratory issue is linked to intelligent response to displacement, border management, migration, labor integration, resettlement, return, and reintegration. The index provides information regarding the carbon cycle and regulation of the greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere, and provides the countries over the globe with information for inception of intercontinental integrated projects. As I said, without intercontinental thinking, interlinked thinking between the Sustainable Development Goals, we cannot achieve the results we are striving for. And thank you very much for the attention, and thank you to my son Vladislav Nikov for the good and bad earth.